Are you sick and tired of attempting pesky math problems about solving systems of linear inequalities using a graph and having no direction about how to do them?
Oh man, I got another 49 on my graphing linear inequalities math test. I need help.
Yeah, you do. We're having a new promotion starting today where you can buy 12 tutor sessions for the price of 8. To demonstrate just how good our tutors are, we're going to show you a live tutor session from our facility. Before we start, however, we will consult poor Billy's mom to see what she has to say about her son's failing grades.
I can't believe my son is performing so poorly in math. Usually Billy's grades are so good. It pains me to see him in this much stress. I just hope that the problem solvers send out a great tutor to help my son. He wants to learn, but he doesn't even know where to start, the poor thing.
She said it herself. This woman has a lot of faith in our company and we'll pull through. You won't be disappointed, I assure you.
Thanks. I sure hope not. I want my old son back. Please, problem solvers, help my child.
Hi Billy, how did you do on your test on solving systems of linear inequalities using a graph last week?
Miserable. My parents are going to kill me if I don't do well on the exam.
Not to worry, Billy. After my tutoring session, you will be a master at solving systems of linear inequalities using graphing. Let's get started. Let's start by defining a linear inequality. A linear inequality is simply an inequality involving linear functions. Graphing these functions is done by using dotted or open lines called boundary lines. The open lines represent an inequality using greater than or less than signs. The closed lines represent greater than or less than or equal to signs.
Wait, I'm lost. Give me an example, please.
Sure thing, Billy. This is a dotted graph, and this is a closed connected graph.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do you do them?
Here's an example problem. 4x minus 5y is greater than or equal to 20, and negative 6y plus 2x is less than 12. So what do we do first?
Well, we should probably isolate the y variable because that's what you normally do to graph.
Good. We set the equations to slope formula y equals mx plus b. Then we look at the y-intercept. Which variable represents the y-intercept?
Well, I think it's b because m represents the slope and x the independent variable.
Very good. Now, we have the equation for the boundary line, and we simply graph it. But remember that the way the inequality is facing determines which side we shade on the graph. When y is greater than or equal to the equation, we shade above the boundary line. When y is less than or equal to the equation, we shade below the boundary line. Here, I am simply isolating the y. I divide by negative 5 on one and negative 6 on the other, and dividing these negatives switches the sign. Also remember that to graph, the equation must be in y equals mx plus b form. So, when I write the equation on the right, I must rewrite it in y equals mx plus b, or y equals the slope times x plus the y-intercept. Not so fast. How do we graph an open inequality?
Oh, right, with dashes. But what about the solutions? How do I know that there is even a solution?
The solution of the graph is where the two graphs' shading intersects. If the line is parallel and the shades never intersect, there are no solutions. If the lines are equal, there are infinitely many solutions. Another example problem, y plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 2x plus 2y, and 2x minus 7y is less than 2. What do we do first?
Isolate the y, right? Isn't that what always is done first?
Very good. So we subtract 2y from the right so it can be moved to the left. Then we subtract the 3 because our goal is to isolate the y. However, when the y is negative, in this case, we multiply by negative 1 to cancel the negatives. What about the other side?
First, you move the 2x to the other side.
Then simply divide by negative 7 because that's how the y is isolated. Here, I'll watch you graph it. But watch out, while your slopes are correct, you need to make sure that your dotted lines and open lines are where they're supposed to be. What about this?
Is that a special case or something? Since y is already isolated, I can just graph it, but something seems off. The graph never meets.
Yes, you're correct. It just means there's no solutions.
I finally get it. Thank you so much. Now I can go forth and never fail a math test again.
See how much this student understands now? All he needed was a 3-minute lesson to put his math skills into shape. I'm sure his mother is proud. Let's find out what she has to say about it.
I am so happy Billy started tutoring with this company. It has made all of the difference. He is now receiving A's and is becoming a very successful student in school. It's nice to see the old Billy shine through. It's nice to feel less stressed, isn't it? I can practically feel his happiness thanks to the problem solvers.
You heard it from her, folks. The Problem Solvers Tutoring Center is open to anyone who is struggling with solving systems of linear inequalities using a graph.
For more information, call 1-555-MATHELP or 1-555-628-4357. That's 1-555-628-4357. Restrictions may apply. Please see sponsor for details. Side effects of tutoring may include increased risk of anxiety, headaches, allergic response, and lack of hunger. If you experience any of these symptoms while discussing algebra with your math tutor, please notify them immediately. Please consult your local algebra teacher to determine if the Problem Solvers Tutoring Center is right for you.